Chat we go. It's Diaz versus Lostt. We have Diaz on low ping, but still actually kind of high ping. Lostt on 8 and Diaz on 50 here in a South American 1v1. Diaz has been taking out just about everybody on USC servers. Taking out North Americans, taking out Europeans. Now, it is time for him to take out a South American, or maybe not. Lostt actually had a very famous win against Yan around the time that Yan was dominating in the South American scene. Lostt hopped in and showed him what was what in a best of 5, and he might have a chance to do that again to South America's best 1v1er in Diaz. Now, everybody in chat understandably did not predict that Lostt would be able to get the win in this best of 5. It is one of the more one-sided predictions in favor of Diaz, and that's for good reason. He has been playing some of the best 1v1 we have ever seen. But I'm excited to have Lostt on. I'm not sure. I think I've had Lostt on at least a couple times before. So it'll be nice to see him back. Not a debut for him on my stream or in ones, but I know he got into the one scene maybe about a year or so ago now, and he had a rough go of it in his first few matches, other than that Yan match we were talking about, but he's playing against very high competition. And if you watch the matches, you see that he was playing them very well, despite the fact that maybe he wasn't coming out with wins. Diaz is going to boom a long shot in order to go up 2-0. Is it possible that Team Falcons will win the RLCS? Sure. Falcons could win the RLCS. Lostt forgot to pick up the midfield boost and just reversed past it as well. Not the cleanest take to start his possession. Diaz is pre-jumping. Lostt dribble, but Lostt did not take it up. The first touch was just to start one. Now he's holding power slide in the hope to find some way to side flip, I think, and finish that shot. Did not find a way to do so. Diaz on 12 boosts, popping the ball high. He's going to have to get rid of it, as he did his best to make something out of a bad situation. Lostt closing the distance between himself and Diaz quite quickly with that first flip, which allows Diaz to make that early challenge when he maybe otherwise wouldn't. Separation in this day and age seems to favor the offense, and you got to use that separation to your advantage, baiting in bad challenges or maybe even outplaying on the goal line if they really camp it out. But Lostt closed that distance willingly. Diaz going to go from the back wall, has a reset, uses it, trying to place top left, and Lostt correctly reads that that's a miss. He does not need to respect and stays on the ground to tie the game. Diaz is a guy who's been live a bunch recently. I suggest checking him out, as he seems to always be queuing ones when he plays, and he is a very exciting player. I was watching him play ranked ones, and it felt like, you know, he was intentionally trying to freestyle basically every goal, like he's trying to do right now. Diaz, the wave dash fake. Lostt actually has the save. Credit to Lostt. I think he, was putting up a good enough coverage of the wave dash shot that Diaz wanted to fake it, and he actually ended up covering the fake as well, so not easy to do. And that was about to be a massive clip from Diaz, especially considering I was hyping him up right before he did that full field dribble. Now he will dribble again, coming out of the corner. Multiple resets. Lostt is trying to just react, and he does. Lostt, this goal line defense has been impeccable, and the counterattack actually puts him in the lead. It's not often that you want to be sitting in net trying to defend against a guy like Diaz. Very rarely can you get away with it, but Lostt is showing that it is possible, and he's done so all the way to a game lead here in game number 1. Diaz now shaking a little bit, maybe. Loses control of his dribble as he looks to try and get a reset at the top of the arena. Lostt is being aggressive here with 17 boosts. I almost kind of expect him to reset again on defense and see what he can get as far as counterattacks. Diaz first touch reset, pops the ball, and he gives up control. Lostt sticking with his trend of early flicks. Every time he gets possession, he's playing it on the ground. He's flicking early. Maybe worried about challenges from Diaz coming right away. He sees the wall dash, diving into the corner. Diaz, what a recovery. Gets a demo. Now can he find a way with no boost left over to get the goal? He can't. Lostt recovers and saves. Slams it off the post and maintains his lead. That was a huge moment there for Diaz, an attempt to tie the game and play from there. It almost feels like because Diaz has been controlling possession, if he does tie the game, he'll likely take it over, and he does it right here. On a full field dribble, Lostt resets on the 100 boost. Maybe thought about a wall challenge for a moment, but could not get back to the play in time after doing that. And now Diaz equalizes. Delay kickoff from Lostt. He's not going to win the race to the midfield boost, though. So he'll be forced to play defense again. Diaz just trying to put power behind the ball to get it over the top of Lostt. Lostt able to guide it away. Diaz pops this over the top, but I think he might have even gotten slightly bumped by Lostt. No follow-up for him. Lostt, long shot after winning a possession in the corner. He shot too high. Diaz missed on the goal line. So this is still a great position for Lostt, who just tries to push the ball up and get Diaz to use the very little boost he does have. He pulls some of it out and now steals the 100 in the corner. Lostt going to drop it on the ground. Let Diaz bounce it away. Another shot sent to the backboard. Might be a 0-second opportunity here for Lostt. He tried to chip it over the top of Diaz coming out of the net, but Diaz did get a touch. And now Diaz going the full distance of the field. Double reset shot. Can it get in? No. Lostt will send it to the ground. So overtime in game number 1. Chat had Diaz heavily favored, and I think they were probably right to have that. But here is Lostt keeping it close early in the series, a chance to maybe even take the early series lead, as Diaz will shoot on what was an open net if he could get over the top of Lostt. Lostt fortunate. That was just wide. Backflip challenge. Now it's a rush back to the ball. Lostt has to save it away. He intentionally looks to hit it off the post. He does not want to put it into the corner where Diaz is going to be there to get possession. He saves it intentionally into the post so it bounces out midfield where he can make the next play. That being said, it is still Diaz with the ball. Lostt a huge pre-jump challenge that does not connect, and it's going to be an easy walk-in for Diaz. So Lostt has done a great job defending in the orange half. He tried to mix it up here a little bit and pre-jumped Diaz's dribble and was nowhere near the play, and that cost him game number 1. So Diaz will ultimately claw his way back and take the early series lead. Game number 2. Diaz and Lostt. Lostt trying to score quickly off the kickoff. Wise to not dive there, as Diaz got his save and got control at a moment's notice, which means he can flick over the top of a very low boost Lostt. So he decides to give up on that opportunity. And now backing off into his half. It's a high bounce that he's going to have a really tough time playing with. In fact, he's going to be forced to make a save as Diaz puts a shot on target. First touch reset, wave dash, fake, and Lostt is unnerved in net. He has yet to be beaten by Diaz in that fashion. Diaz going to chip this directly up in the air over the top of Lostt. But so far, it's actually Lostt been trying to challenge really early and not being able to connect. Here, it was a dive on the ground to end overtime. The previous one, it was an aerial pre-jump. But as far as goal line reactions, Lostt has it under control and now needs to pre-flip this one in. Barely was able to do so. It was right in an awkward spot where his flip was very likely to touch the underside of his car, but he needed to get there. If he could have canceled it maybe slightly, might have been able to put a bit more power under it. But either way, it did find its way in. Fake kickoff from Diaz, read by Lostt as he does a little camera check to see how comfortably he's going to be able to set up this dribble. The answer is very comfortably as Diaz backs off. Wave dash catch. Diaz pre-jumped it and got back down. Able to pinch it on the ground into the corner. Lostt maybe trying to fake with that backflip, but that does not work on Diaz, who has a chance to attack off the ceiling. Lostt. The reactionary defense has been unbelievable, and he just barely cut that away from Diaz after baiting him in on the poor setup. Now flick over the top. Diaz somehow finds a way back to the ball after missing on the first attempts, and he will push Lostt back to the back corner. Diaz pre-jump challenge. He went gung-ho on the side wall and earned himself a possession because of it. Ball's over for the reset. Tries to get one more. Look at this shot from Diaz. It's technically a pogo, I think, as he lands on the ground. He gets the early reset, uses that flip, and then tried to get another reset, but pogo 50'd. It was a pogo 50 on the ground in order to score it. Lostt. Looking a little bit lost as he dives into the corner where Diaz had the clear win in the race to the boost. Diaz going to take it to ceiling height, get the pinch, and the bounce is too high. He read the pre-jump and tried to counter it by pinching it off the ceiling. Now Diaz, full field dribble, double resets. Can he 50? Oh, he can. He absolutely can. Diaz's favorite place to attack seems to be all the way on his back wall, and for good reason. The shots he's able to get from here. We saw in game number 1, he sent one just a bit too high off the backboard. Lostt had that read, got a free goal from it, but it's not going to be enough to scare Diaz off of trying it again. Now Diaz with the reset high at the arena. 2 resets. Why not? This time he goes low. Diaz on fire now as he pops the ball forward with the first reset just to grab another one. And Lostt, I mean, credit to him for surviving this long against these attacks from Diaz, because he was reacting to all of these and making the right play, making saves. It's not easy to do. Now what he's really going to have to do is stop giving Diaz first possession. Diaz has farmed about 4 or 5 first possessions in a row off the kickoff. Fake shot here. Lostt maybe didn't get that skim touch that he wanted. Look at this late flip from Diaz. If he takes the early shot off the first touch, he's not likely to score. Instead, he pre-flips underneath it and gets one more to pop the ball over the top of Lostt. Now Lostt is down big. Delay kickoff from Lostt. Demoed. So a kickoff adjustment from Lostt. I'd like to see it. It seemed like it might have worked out to give him an opportunity, but Diaz did immediately take it away. Lostt sees a counterattack chance if he goes quickly. So he boomed the ball off of his corner in order to try and set up, a one-touch shot. But Diaz did recover in time. Now Diaz at ceiling heights. Multiple resets are just easy. It doesn't matter for him. You ask how many. For some reason, it seems like the double is almost more comfortable. If you ask him to just do a single reset shot, it might be tougher. Diaz going to the backboard for a double, and he slots it on the right side of the net away from the defender. Lostt flipping his way back on pads. Was never going to have a good read on any high shot to the right side. And all of a sudden, the heroics on defense have ended for Lostt, and Diaz has been able to pull away. Diaz, I'm not sure what the end goal with this one is. Actually, a pretty neat catch on the side wall. He's pre-jumped immediately to the ceiling after Lostt starts his dribble. Lostt correctly waits on the ground. Yeah, Diaz landed turtle. Listen, I get that he's being very creative, and he's finding new ways to play the game. Oh, I think he wanted to land on the back wall, and he just clipped it and then landed turtle. Certainly, that's not the way to defend. Diaz pinching this off his back wall to send it to the other side of the net. Lostt able to get around and make a play. So now he'll try a backboard dribble. Really strong first touch, but he's actually out past Diaz. What happened here from Diaz? Was he not expecting Lostt to keep this dribble going? Oh, he just missed the wave dash. He set up a sideways wave dash, and he missed it. Lost the kickoff win to the side wall, something that was exclusively happening in favor of Diaz for the first almost 4 minutes of this game, you could say. But Lostt could really bring it back. Oh, got demoed. He was doing his best to survive. Diaz, for whatever reason, not playing the ball towards the net. Maybe he expected the respawn to be there in time. Instead, he goes back to midfield and looks for another double, but misses. And Lostt gonna have a clean possession here. Diaz again, pre-jumping immediately. Every time Lostt gets any sort of possession, seems like he might go in the air. Diaz has already pre-jumped. Most of those pre-jumps, he comes back down to the ground. And it's really just doing them as a way to maybe scare or, you know, make Lostt think twice. His reset shot gets saved here. Lostt will boom a counterattack. Oh my goodness. Is there a chance? With 3 seconds. Delay kickoff. I'm not sure it's going to be fast enough. Lostt just gets underneath it so he can maybe put on something exciting to end the game, but can't get it to the side wall. So game number 2 going to go to Diaz as well. Lostt, though, a bit of momentum to finish that game. So there's a chance headed into game number 3. Game 3. Diaz got off to a hot start in the last game. And even though Lostt began to claw back, never fully made it there. Diaz clearly had like a controller DC or something. Or he's just frustrated about losing this challenge. No. If he didn't have a controller DC, he would have made a play there. And he's not skipping here. So I don't know if he fully DC'd. But yeah, he's not going to come here on the kickoff. Just go ahead and pause it, I guess. Guess he DC'd. Yeah, there it is. Let's say I mean, we could just restart the game, but usually you allow the first goal. 451, 1-0. If Lostt wants to give a goal back, that'll be up to him. You can drive around while we wait. I believe we are back with Lostt and Diaz. Diaz DC'd, unfortunately. People are saying Steam maybe has some issues going on right now. Either way, we are back into the game. And Lostt up 1-0. Lostt gonna make it 2-0 at the start of game 3. Lostt needs a bounce back. Maybe this timeout, this accidental timeout, is what he needed here. As he got a few moments to actually try some pogos, but to be fair, it looks like he maybe doesn't try too many pogos. Diaz didn't grab the boost, not the first time or the second time. And Lostt will turn to meet him. Little camera check to see what he was dealing with. Diaz, who needs boost, will head to his back corner, and Lostt has had enough. We saw in game number 1, he defended exclusively at the net, just allowed Diaz to go to work, and actually almost made it work. You know, I would say normally that's a big mistake, but he actually got it to overtime before losing. And now he seems to have made, you know, game number 2, Diaz farmed like you would expect when you try and just goal line defend against him. So Lostt has seemingly adjusted. He's attacking as early as possible, but he's not going to be able to attack this one early because he doesn't have the boost to do so. Diaz takes the ball back down to the ground. He sees Lostt high on the back wall. Instead of bringing the ball to him, he falls to the ground and then rips the flick only after Lostt has tried to recover that ground. Puts it off the post and in. Big kickoff from Lostt. Works beautifully. About all you could ask for is he'll get himself midfield boost. And he tried to make something out of this possession with this bounce off the side wall. I'm not sure that was the right idea. Unless he was really going to pull off some magic. But he does still have control of the boost. He allowed Diaz to get that back corner. So now Diaz will back off and head to the back wall where he is the most dangerous. And Lostt, I thought maybe would challenge him there. It seems crazy to say that, but Diaz is so good in the air. As we watch from Lostt POV, he is able to guide this one to the back wall and away from the nets. But Diaz, his recovery, wait, he own goaled. I was going to say his recoveries are so good that he's able to get away with this kind of stuff. But Lostt just puts one on target, says, how good are your recoveries? And Diaz apparently not good enough. So all he does is accelerate the ball into his net. Diaz double to himself off the back corner. The demo and a wide open net, so he will take it. Kickoffs are going to be huge, and they're going to have to go in heavily in favor of Lostt. And, you know, I said that before he lost one directly. He's done a pretty good job of not losing them directly into his net. He has lost many to the side wall, which can almost feel like losing it directly into your net when you're playing Diaz, but Lostt trying to chase Diaz off the back wall. There's really no way he can find a way to score this. Is there? He got a decent 50. The fact that Diaz is able to convert that strong of a touch away from his net into something reasonable is impressive, but either way, it's a possession that leads to Lostt taking a long shot in the corner and regaining his lead. Fake kickoff again. It seemed like Diaz delayed it and almost therefore read it, and yet still gave Lostt the ideal possession on the fake kickoff. He's going to flick and go low, and Diaz was going in and out of the net. I'm not sure if Diaz timed it well either way, because even if Lostt put this high, Diaz found himself directly in the back of the net at the moment the ball crossed the goal line. I mean, it was close. If it was high and he didn't have to fall back down, he might have been perfectly timed, but still a little bit late. And lost the 5-3 lead. He's not going to have the boost to go to the midfield, so actually plays it into the blue half intentionally, knowing that Diaz is going to cover the path to the midfield boost, therefore getting it around him. That was a tough 50 to get, and he did not succeed. Tried to just get a double jump and roll his car to a position that would stop Diaz from taking this infield, but did not do so. Diaz trying the no-flip kickoff, and it does not work well. As Lostt, was not able to steal that corner boost. He camped on the back line, and that was a big missed wave dash. Diaz has missed a couple wave dashes now. Diaz, and that one is just, you'd expect Diaz to hit that every time. Diaz, 360. Not able to win out in the 50 in the goal line. Lostt will send one to the backboard. Recognizes that Diaz will be clearing it, so does not try and follow up for a shot. And now declining to go in the air here, and actually just gave Diaz the ball for free. It's a good mix-up because Diaz had been pre-jumping so much, just playing it towards the ground. Maybe you could counteract that, but in this case, Diaz was still grounded. He just kind of handed it to him. Lostt able to go over the top. Can he get around? He can. He'll slow roll it in and waste as much time as possible, or making it 7-4. Delay kickoff from Diaz. Lostt grabs the corner boost. The pre-flip double is going to drop it on the goal line, and Lostt going to make it 8-4. Lostt could not wait any longer to get going here. He actually got bumped by Diaz, and I think reacted with it to make this touch, and it's enough for Diaz to be done with this game number 3. He wants to go to game 4, so Lostt will stay alive in this best of 5. Game number 4. Lostt did not have ball cam on there at the start, and it looked very weird. Diaz, multiple resets. Lostt sees an opportunity to take that ball away when there's too much space between Diaz and the ball. So Diaz freestyling, maybe going to come to an end here if Lostt starts to make these kind of reads. Diaz off the back wall. Lostt did his best to try and pinch it across the back wall, prevent Diaz from getting that double, but didn't get there in time. Delay kickoff from Lostt. He's been delaying a bunch here since losing many in a row. Diaz recognizing Lostt is going to beat him to the ball, just backflips out of his aerial. Now it's going to be able to just pop this one on target after Lostt on 12 boost was doing his best to try and get the ball out of Diaz's control. Lostt wanted to get an immediate goal. I'm actually surprised he went for this. A lot of times in these situations, players look to control into the corner of some kind. Diaz, though, wants to get buckets early, and I actually think, or sorry, Lostt does. There's a chance there for Diaz to maybe clear it away. Lostt gets rewarded. Wow, what a read. This time Diaz does not fall for the fake kickoff. You watch it from Lost's perspective, and he does not know what to do here. He basically has to just own goal after Diaz chips it to the post. He has another direct kickoff goal, so 4-2 as he's looking to try and close out the series. To perfectly neutral kickoff, at least at first. But Diaz able to come away with the clear possession as he goes to the side wall. Multiple resets again. The wave dash shot into the crossbar, back down to himself. And it's 1v1 perfection. Almost impossible for Lostt to make the right play here. Even if he does get up to make a save, there's a good chance he won't get the touch because instead of going in, it goes off crossbar and back down. And then is available for Diaz to follow up. Diaz getting a big lead in the first minutes. Will evade the bump or demo, grab the back corner boost, and head to the other side. Another full field dribble where he feels most comfortable. He's underneath the ball now. Is he going to find a way to score it? He is. Oh my goodness, Diaz. Watch it from his perspective. He's on completely the wrong side of the ball, but that's never a worry. He barely even landed. He popped up the ball instantly for the shot. That was ridiculous. How did Diaz think that quickly? I don't understand. It looked like he didn't even land on the ground. Pop back up in a moment's notice, and now another kickoff win to the side wall. Lostt has had enough of the aerial antics of Diaz. He is going to beat him in the race to the ball here, and a race that will cost Diaz a goal. Lostt still within striking distance. And he's got a lot of time to work it back. Now Diaz is going to be faking. He is rewarded with his favorite possession, a dribble. He doesn't care how slow it starts from the back wall. He always finds a way to get it there. But he actually dropped it early. And we saw at the start of the series, Diaz gave one of these to Lostt. Since then, he's been very clean. But he will gift one again in Game 4. Now Lostt within 2. Diaz forcing Lostt into net off the kickoff. Gets the boost steal and gets the outplay. Late kickoff from Lostt. Not working as effectively as it did before. Diaz with a strong first touch off the wall, going for the catch, and actually tried to guide it in to the bottom right corner, and I think it was possible, but he did not cut it in time. He will intercept Lost's attempted dribble and casually double it. It is Diaz after all. Lostt wanted a really strong first touch. Maybe he didn't want a really strong first touch actually, but he got one off of that side wall. That allowed Diaz to close the gap. Now Lostt pre-jumping, got it into the ceiling. This is the right way to defend Diaz, I think. And Lostt has realized that late, but he keeps finding himself in low boost positions where he has no choice but to allow Diaz to get up in the air. And after he does, he's a menace to deal with. Lostt on the counterattack, pre-flipping for the bump, didn't get it. Diaz has to save. Gets demoed, and Lostt a very important first touch catch. If he doesn't put the ball out to midfield, he will not be able to convert this. So after the demo, makes the fast read, recognizes where the ball is, side flipping off the wall to make sure it bounces in field. Lostt backing off of this possession and actually has a perfect in and out save across the whole distance of the field. Diaz should have the counter save though. Lostt pops this one high. Diaz in and out of the nets. Neither of them had a ton of boost, but Diaz finding ways to make high saves despite that. Long shot from Diaz is wide. Lostt gonna allow it to bounce off the wall before taking it to the left side. Diaz pre-jumping. He does not want Lostt to start any dribbles. Diaz pre-jumping again. We talked about that before. Diaz is pre-jumping way before Lostt could even start his aerial. It seemed like he's going to gain possession. It seemed like he might go to the sky. Diaz is already just floating on the other side of the field. For the most part, he has always returned to the ground and not tried to just stay up there. Now Diaz going to attack on offense. Multiple resets, and he needed them all to get this goal because he was headed to the back wall on the initial dribble. But one more reset, why not? And Lostt, he waited it out. He thought he was going to be able to get that low save. Those low saves are so valuable. If you can get a near ground save, it enables you to counterattack so quickly. Sometimes it's worth waiting it out if you think you can. Diaz going to flick inside the right post and directly behind Lostt, who had barely creeped out, but had creeped out enough to leave open a window, and Diaz has that kind of precision. The double jump was not going to save him. A minute left to go. It's going to have to be a bunch of kickoff possessions in a row for Lostt, and instead it's actually a Diaz kickoff possession. Lostt sends it high over the crossbar, and I'm not sure if he'll be able to start a dribble here. Another really powerful first touch to start his possession, something he's done a lot, but something that kind of closes the distance and makes it hard to get out plays. Diaz, you know, he might have been searching for clips the whole time. The fact that he got such a good shot out of that on the wrong side of the ball, pre-flipping and getting that much power. Lostt is going to deny the 11th goal and should get a 6th here. So really it's all a formality. Who's going to get the last opportunity to clip on the other? That's all that's really in question left with 14 seconds. Unless Diaz really chokes a few kickoffs in a row, but it'll be pretty tough to lose 4 straight kickoffs in 12 seconds. So Diaz looking like he might be the last one to clip, as Lostt challenges from ceiling height, doesn't connect. And this will be the final shot attempts. Diaz goes to the ceiling and sends it to the ground. Game number 4, we're going to go to Diaz. It's a 3-1 for the favorites in Brazil, taking down Mr. Lostt.